It's time for a little comedy, a little content, and a lot of conversation. It's the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube. Now here's your host, Geno Jones.
Hey, it's Geno Jones Showtime. What's happening, everybody? I'm coming to you live. That's right, me. 6:30 p.m. Monday through Friday. Live and in living color like you see me right now. If you're watching me in real time on this Thursday evening, don't forget this weekend. So Saturday night, Sunday morning before you go to bed, we fall back. We turn the clocks back 1 hour. So we lose that 1 hour daylight savings time, but we get an extra hour of sleep, which I desperately can use this weekend. So don't forget. Fall back with the clocks. In the car, the microwave, you know, whatever you got to set. You got old school, maybe you have an alarm clock. Who uses an alarm clock now? Doesn't everybody use their phone? Maybe not. So the clock's in your house, your watches, if you wear a watch, your microwaves, anything in your car, anything that you need to reset, turn the clocks back Saturday night before you shut it down. Sunday morning, fall back 1 hour, okay? 6:30, so that way I don't want you to miss the show, because next Monday, 6:30 Eastern time will actually be 5:30. So handle that for me, all right? Congratulations. So let me start off the show with some good news. I want to congratulate some good buddies of mine. They were one of my very first guests almost 2 years ago. This is my second year anniversary doing the Geno Jones Show, and they were one of my very first guests. I am talking about Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. Congratulations. Inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame on November 5th, along with Lionel Richie, Harry Belafonte. Day-o, day-ya-ya-ya-yo. Rest in peace, power in paradise. Wait a minute, hold on. I'm killing the dude. He ain't gone nowhere yet. Slow down, G. He's still with us. You getting them mixed up with the Sidney Poitier. So, Harry Belafonte, Lionel Richie, and Eminem, among others. I think Dolly Parton is going to be inducted also. Shout out to Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. Man, they should have did that. You all should have been in that Rock and Roll Hall of Fame a long time ago. Already in the Songwriters Hall of Fame, I think that happened like 2007. Anyway, better late than never at all, so we'll take it. Shout out to my Scorpios celebrating your birthday. It's your time to shine. So Scorpios, stand up. Celebrating a birthday today, R&B singer and the girlfriend of NBA superstar Jason Tatum. She is a superstar in her own right. She was out on tour with Mary J. Blige, sister from London, England. Ella May, her real name, Ella May Howe. So Ella May is 28 today. Happy birthday, Ella May. Do your thing, Scorpio. And Colin Kaepernick, former NFL star quarterback, led his team to the Super Bowl. Didn't win. Damn near won that Super Bowl game. It was a great game against the Baltimore Ravens back in the day. Been whiteballed by the NFL. Still hadn't got back in the NFL, but he is a social justice warrior and activist. Colin Kaepernick is 35 today. Happy birthday, Colin. I'm rooting for you, brother. Do your thing, man. I'm glad you got your money. You still need to be, you are still better than half the damn quarterbacks in the NFL today. So, I digest. We are 5 days away. 5 days away from the midterm election. However, vote early, vote now. Early voting is going on in probably every state, just about every state in America that allows early voting. Already early votes. As a matter of fact, here in South Carolina, early voting will end on this Saturday. So find out, just, you know what, contact the Board of Elections in the community you live in, like here, the County Board of Elections, or the Secretary of State, whoever runs the elections in your city, in your state. Go to their website, or you could just type in your zip code and just say, okay, when can I vote? Can I early vote? Type in your zip code. Where do I vote? Type in your zip code, and all that will come up. But there are a lot of different websites. Contact either the Secretary of State, like Illinois. They have the Secretary of State. Here we have the Board of Elections by county. Charleston County, Berkeley County, Dorchester County, Richland County, Georgetown County, all over the state. 5 days until Election Day. Now, I want you to, let me speak to my young people, all right? I want to keep it real simple, relatively short, because I want to play some music for you. I want to put you in a mood, so we can, lighten the mood. But listen, we're living in some very precarious times. So really, this message is for everybody. But once again, to my millennials, my Gen Zers, Generation Z, and us baby boomers, and even, us Gen Xers, and even the baby boomers. You got the power. And don't let people intimidate you in Florida. I hear that there are a significant number of black people that are afraid to vote because Governor Governor DeSantis with that stunt that he pulled. So the state, they allow people who, maybe you had a felony, you served your time, you are past your parole and everything else. So you have served your time, you're no longer on parole or anything like house arrest. The state sent these people voter registration cards. The state of Florida told them they could vote. And then Governor Jackass DeSantis has this election police that he has in the state. So he went around and arrested majority black people for voting when they were not supposed to vote. Now, I heard one man, he got his case thrown out because he was like, wait a minute, the state of Florida told me I could vote. The state of Florida sent me a voter registration card. So, wait a minute, if I couldn't vote, why did the state not just allow me to vote? They sent me the voter registration card. See, that's some BS. That's bullshit. So, I've heard there, significant number of black people that are afraid to vote. Listen, don't let fear rule you. Step into your power. Governor DeSantis only did that so he could get the reaction that he got from the black people who are afraid, they're scared to vote. Even the ones that's never been in jail. It's like, what do you mean, make something up? Who knows? No, don't live by fear. Step into your power. You've got the power. Like the 90s party song by a group called Snap. I got the power. You hear me talking about it all the time. You got the power. And people like Governor DeSantis and Governor Abbott, I call him Governor Asshole, and even Foghorn Leghorn here in South Carolina, Governor McMaster, all these MAGA cult politicians, these MAGA cult governors, they know that you have the power. And they are afraid if you use the power, you will vote their asses out. So use your power. Do just that. Do not be intimidated. Do not live in fear. Step into your power. Use it. But especially to my Gen Zers and my millennials, you all not only do you all have the power, you all have the numbers. Millennials outnumber Gen Xers like myself, baby boomers, and when you get the millennials with the Gen Zers, the Generation Z, you all have the power and you got the numbers. It is your time. This is your planet. This is your country. Every generation has to fight to protect democracy. They never wanted us people, black people, and other people of color. They never wanted us to have power. The indigenous brothers and sisters, the brown brothers and sisters, and then they've pitted us against each other to where, in black and brown, significant number of black and brown folks out in like California and Los Angeles, there's tension. The people in power created this tension. They created this whole made up construct of race, which is rooted in, it's a power. It's all about power. And it's a power structure. And they create it, and they can divide and conquer. So once again, I'm going to say it again, a small handful of people can control social, economic, and political power. And they can be selfish and greedy and give each other tax breaks in the meantime to cut Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid for our seniors. So I think about people like my mother. I mentioned this yesterday. She worked all of her life since she was a teenager. And right before she was really forced to retire because of health challenges, there were many days. My mother was a career nurse. She worked in hospitals. She had her own nursing registry. And so toward the end of her career, she did private duty cases. So she would go into the homes of primarily elderly patients who were sick, and she would care for them. Sometimes she would be on a case for a week or two, sometimes just for the weekend. There were times when my mother went and took care of patients. And some days she was sicker than the patients that she took care of, but she still went to work. My mother's had back surgery. She's had knee replacement. And a lot of that came from having to lift patients, especially as she got older, patients that were heavier than her, lift them and move them and try to aid in bathing them and all of that and all the walking that she's had to do being a nurse. She got a bad back surgery, bad knees, knee replacement from all the hard work that she had to do. So that Social Security money, that's her money that she's paid into. And she's paid into it, but she's paid with her health. And the back surgery and the knee surgery, those are receipts, scars, proof about how hard she had to work physically to earn a living to take care of me and my two sisters. So, and there are millions of women and men like that pay dues. Work hard right now, walking around with bad backs, bad knees. In some cases, worked at places where they were breathing in toxic fumes, bad lungs, probably came down with all kind of diseases, lung cancer, been surrounded by carcinogens, being exposed to chemicals that cause them to have cancer or other diseases, respiratory conditions. So these people, they have earned this money. They paid into a system. It's their money. So I miss me. How are you going to, all of a sudden, you're going to get rid of Social Security? You're just going to tell these people all this money that they have paid into? Well, we're going to cut it off. No. You can't let that happen. You can't let that happen to your mother or your father or your grandparents or an aunt or an uncle. And don't let it happen to you. Because one day, so they really don't want millennials and Gen Zers. And when you hear some of these cult members talking about, Social Security is broke, no. Check the facts, do your research, do your homework. Social Security is nowhere near being broke. It is what they call solvent, financially solvent. That means there's plenty of money. People pay into millions, hundreds of millions of people pay into Social Security every day. And they've been doing it since Social Security started in the 30s, late 30s, early 40s, right around there. And there were times, if you were, quote unquote, a farm worker, where you got paid in cash, i.e. a lot of African Americans who were, doing farm work, they didn't get Social Security because they didn't pay into the system. But there are millions of people like my mother and other people that have paid into it, and not only paid with the money they earned, but they paid with their health, how it compromised, how it's ruined their health in many cases. It's taken a toll on their body. So they literally had to labor to get this money. That was their money that they earned, hard-earned money. Don't let that happen. My millennials, my Gen Zers, don't let that happen to your parents and your grandparents. Because one day, you'll be at that Social Security age and you want that same money that you're paying into right now. Be very careful. Don't vote for people who don't have your best interest. Don't vote for people who don't want to make your life better. That's simple. Don't be distracted with the racism and the fear, the anti-blackness, the anti-Semitism, the anti-immigrant, the anti-Muslim hate, the homophobia, the transphobia, the sexism and misogyny. Do not be distracted, and do not let that be catnip to cause you to vote against your own best interest. Or just not vote at all because you said, well, my vote doesn't count. Yes, it does. I'm going to say this once again. Those people in power who want your demise and destruction, they want you to be despaired. They want you to have a sense of despair, I should say. They want despair to be in the air. So they can pass laws and turn the clocks back 100, 150, 200 years. They want to take away all of your rights. Once again, women, your reproductive rights. This cult of personality, and these handful of politicians, this MAGA cult that wants to turn this country back, go backwards to where 14-year-old little boys like Emmett Till, oh Lord, Emmett Smith. I'm thinking, I got sports on my mind. Young teenage boys like Emmett Till from the south side of Chicago who went to visit his relatives in Mississippi back 1955. The movie Till is out. Must see movie. When Jim Crow laws were on the books in all these southern states, including the one I'm in right now, South Carolina. There's people, there's a crowd, there's a cult that want to take this country back to where women, you have no rights. Your body is state property. If a 10-year-old girl or 12-year-old girl, who some people want to call a woman, that's been a victim of rape or incest, the state wants to control her body and force her to carry the seed of her rapist. They want to take away your voting rights. They want to get rid of free and fair elections. They want to say, you know what? Either we win or nobody wins. If we don't win, if we don't get the most votes, then the election must have been, you know what? I'm not even going to say, because I don't even want to repeat the talking points of this crowd. Like, we win, heads we win, tails you lose. Even if we don't have the most votes, if you got the most votes, then something had to go wrong. Election integrity, voting irregularities, it's rigged, it's cheating. No, it's just that you stepped into your power. And once again, they want to intimidate and take away your power. Don't give it away. Step into it. You've got it. Don't be afraid. Because, and for those who say, well, I go to the store and I'm paying more for chicken or milk or eggs. If you think you're paying more now, if you lose this democracy, because democracy and the economy are directly connected. They are inextricably connected. You can look around the world. Every country, any country, study history. This lost democracies that's had dictatorships, you don't have an economy. Because all the money goes to the dictator and the dictator's friends and family. While the people live in poverty. Countries like that in South America, Russia. You can study history. So we are 5 days away. So listen, step into your power. Take control of your future. Don't give away your power. Don't give your future. Don't put your future in the hands of people that don't care about you, that don't want to protect you, your rights, your health, your money, your family's rights, health, and money, who really want your demise and destruction. And that's just a fact. Simple fact. 5 days. Vote. The good news is 32 million people have voted already. Let's step it up. To my brothers and sisters in Florida's, be not afraid. Step into your power. You've got the power and you've got the law on your side. Vote. You're registered to vote. You've never been in jail. You've never had a felony. Fear not. Vote. Step into your power. You got nonprofits and organizations that you can contact. But I'm telling you, don't be intimidated. Don't live in fear. Don't be a prisoner of the racism and just the tyranny of your governor that wants to intimidate you so he can stay in power until he decides to run for president, which is what he's going to do anyway. Trump wannabe, Orange Hitler wannabe, DeSantis. Everybody. You got the power. Use it. Because if you don't use it, trust me, if you don't use it now, you could very well lose it. And if you lose it, it's going to be very hard to get it back. We may not get it back in many of our lifetimes. That's just a fact. But you got the power. And those people who want your power are afraid. Because fear, ignorance, hatred, misogyny, and sexism is big business. And it always has. But tell them they're going to have to make their money. They're going to have to make a profit off of something else. Because we're not going to live in a country, in a democracy, to where hatred, bigotry in all of its forms, misogyny and sexism is going to rule. Rule the day. We're not going to have an economy rooted in fear and ignorance and like I said, hatred and bigotry. And you got the power to make sure that doesn't happen. Use it, because it will affect you. Trust me. Well, how's losing the democracy going to affect me? It will. Because it's already started. Young women, in many states, you have lost your reproductive freedoms. And they're coming after birth control. They'll come after same-sex marriage. They've been coming after voting rights. Oh, this thing can get really out of hand. Just Google Germany, the late 1920s, early 1930s. What happened in Nazi Germany could very easily happen here in America. I'm not scaring you. I'm trying to school you. Some all wokeness. Yeah, you need to open your eyes. Now's the time to really be awake. Because there's a cult that really literally wants to put you to sleep figuratively and literally. Yes, absolutely. Thank you for letting me be a part of your life. As always, God bless each and every one of you, God, most of all. Thank you for letting me do the Geno Jones Show. I come to you live Monday through Friday. Live, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. in Chicago, 3:30 p.m. out on the West Coast, 1:30 p.m. out in Hawaii. Please subscribe to the Geno Jones Show YouTube channel. Subscribe, share, like, and binge watch all my back episodes. If you missed one of my episodes, it's great. Has some great guests. Ronald Isley, Ernie Isley, the Isley brothers. They were my guests last Wednesday. We had a great time. I've had some great guests, like singers, legendary R&B, soul singers, and politicians. Just some really dynamic, incredible people. Latasha Brown, co-founder of Black Voters Matter. Last Friday, she is a force of nature. Talking about step into your power. Well, she talks about that and she shuts it down. Make sure you go back and watch last Friday's episode with Latasha Brown. Check out last Wednesday's episode with Ronald Isley, and Ernie Isley. Go back and binge watch. I've had so many guests, I can't even think of all of them. Like I said, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. You can go back and watch that conversation. I've had Lenny Williams, Lettucey's been on the show. James Alexander from the Barcades. Larry Dotson, the former lead singer of the Barcades. I can't keep track. My man Marcus, some new talented new artists like Tone. Shout out to Tone. Marcus Allen, whose latest top 5 R&B video you're going to see in just a few minutes. So I want to thank each and every one of you, and especially you for watching the show. God bless each and every one of you. And God, most of all, thank you for letting me do the Geno Jones Show. Once again, please subscribe to the Geno Jones Show YouTube channel. You and everybody you know, everybody. Subscribe, share, like, binge watch. Copy the link, copy and paste it. Screen grab some of the show. Put it up in your reels and your stories on Instagram, on TikTok, on Facebook, and even Twitter, which is problematic. So I don't know. I'm not for long on Twitter. This Elon Musk is very problematic, so I'm going to see. I don't really mess with Twitter like that, to be honest. I just don't. You know, my fewest followers on all my social media platforms is on Twitter, because I digress. I want to thank everybody for watching. Shout out to my man Groove Master Dre. I see you. I appreciate you, man. Always watching. Everybody else is watching me live. Thank you once again. The next live edition of the Geno Jones Show is going to be tomorrow, Friday, and we call it Friday edition of the Geno Jones Show. 4 days. That'll be 4 days until Election Day, but it's already election season. Don't wait until Tuesday. Don't wait until next Tuesday, because anything can happen. Vote today. And until Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Once again, don't forget to turn your clocks back. Saturday night when you go to bed, fall back, turn your clocks and your watches and your microwaves and the clock in your car. Anything else that's got a clock on it, turn it back 1 hour as we lose daylight savings time. But you'll get an extra hour of sleep Saturday night, Sunday morning. I cannot wait. As always, be blessed. Pray for peace. Thanks for watching.
Subscribe and tune in to the next episode of The Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube.